The Mac Finder is a great way to keep track of your files, but there may be some ways that will help you out and find more information a little quicker. You can customize the toolbar at the top here to add options that you may want to see. So you control click. You can say I would like to see icons and text only icons, or you can customize the toolbar. When you click that, you get a drop down and you see some other things that you could add. I like to put in a path so that I can see where my files actually are in the path. So you go down, select the ones that you want, click done, and now that bar will appear in your Finder toolbar. Here's a Mac tip. Suppose you need to access your mail folder where your mail messages are stored. Your drive is failing, something's going on. You need to be able to access and copy your mail messages off. The way to do it is to open your Finder window. Hold down Option and select Go at the top. You'll notice that Library appears. If you let the Option key go, it disappears. If you open it, touch it again, you have to hold it down until you see Library. You click on Library. Now you can scroll down and you'll see your mail folder. These are hidden folders that Apple doesn't really want you to see or mess with. You'll see a couple of versions depending on how old your Mac is. The V7 is the current version of the Apple Mail. You can click on it. These are your mail folders here where all of your mail information is stored. You can copy those off and you'll be able to bring them onto another Mac should you be able to have to restore anything. Put it in an iCloud drive. It's Apple's answer to Dropbox. So I create a file real quickly and I name it iCloud Drive. We're going to store it in my iCloud Drive folder. Now, and when we go to the iCloud Drive, it's going to show up right there. But let's say something happens and you actually delete that important file that you've been wanting to save. Remember, this only works if it's an iCloud Drive, and it selectively allows you to recover certain files. So let's say we move it to the trash. It's gone now. How do we get it back? Well, if you use iCloud Drive, you have 30 days to get your file back. So we go to iCloud.com and give it a second to catch up. Now, you go to your iCloud Drive, which is a folder on your iCloud.com. This is my iCloud.com. You'll see iCloud Drive as a folder there. Click on that, and you see that file is not here, but you see down at the bottom it says recently deleted. Remember, you have 30 days to do this. You click on it, and there's my iCloud Drive test. I click on it and click recover. And now there's my file back. So that's how you recover a file that you think might be lost. Remember, you have 30 days to do it, but it's only if you save it to your iCloud Drive file. New operating system, Monterey, which is the new operating system that was just released. And it's you're going to find that if you, especially if you have one of the new M1 Macs, you're going to see that a lot of things with your iPhone and your Mac are the same, which is what Apple's trying to do. They're trying to merge the two systems. You're even able to run some of your iOS apps on your computer now. And there's some other features that are going to be the same, but we're going to talk about them briefly. This update, along with several of the past ones, really focuses on your privacy and security. Apple has added what they call private relay, which is a form of a virtual privacy network, which sends your queries on Safari through several routers. So it makes very hard for spammers and people who are trying to track your movements to determine where you actually are. There's another feature that we're going to talk a little bit about, which is your email messaging. You can use gives you the ability to use several email addresses and have your mail sent back to you without ever revealing your genuine email address. So if you have especially the new M1 Mac, this is a really great operating system. There are going to be some other things that we're going to talk about, new experiences. They've made a lot of improvements on FaceTime, and it's sort of like WebEx. Now you can share content. You can actually watch a movie together with on Apple TV, for instance, and you can add friends and watch the same movie at the same time, and you can talk about it. It's almost like they're sitting on the couch next to you watching a movie, if that's what you're interested in. It's great for like grandkids. If you don't get to see them, you can watch TV and movies with them and actually talk back and forth, just like you were sitting in the same room with them. You can add people to it. It's really nice. Share your screen so that people can see what's on your screen. They even have spatial audio, which means that you can hear different voices coming out of different sides of your Mac. They come in, as we said, the FaceTime now comes with a grid view. And another thing, they've added FaceTime for Android devices, which was a change. Originally, Apple was never going to make FaceTime available to anyone except a Mac or an iPhone user. But now they've allowed people with Androids to come onto it. So that's one of the other big changes. So you can invite anybody to it, whether what kind of phone or computer that they have. Messages, you see some changes in your messages, both on your iPhone and on your Mac. If somebody sends you several pictures, you're going to see the pictures are all going to be stacked on top of one another rather than strung out in a long message, so that you can flip back and forth to them. You can share all kinds of different things, apps, share content. You can share pictures. You can. We're going to talk a little bit about it, but now it's the Apple has the ability to go into a picture and highlight addresses or phone numbers and make calls or get information straight out of a photo. They're trying to make Safari more useful. It's got more of a workflow, and they've done one thing called Focus, which was basically Do Not Disturb. Now it's become Focus. You're going to see for your Safari, you're going to see a compact tab bar that takes up a little bit less room. And they've added a lot of tabs that are going to let you go back and forth across your device. You're going to notice that your bookmarks bar and those kind of things have been changed to add tabs to it. So you can make a tab group where you can have several, if you're working on a project or something, you can have several different web pages that pertain to that group. Let's say you're planning a vacation. You can have several different pages attached to that tab, and then if you want to go to them, you just click that tab, and it'll bring up all the web pages that you've saved under that browser. So it's pretty interesting as far as that. We talked a little bit about Focus, but basically it will now suggest focus things to you. For instance, I put on mine driving, so that when I'm driving, and it senses when I'm driving, anybody that's trying to call me or send me a message will get a bounce back message saying that I'm focused on my driving, and I will answer them once I get to my destination. And you can add people who are like your spouse or somebody who you want to be able to reach that can break through that. It works across all your devices, so it works, like I said, on your iPhone as well as your Mac. So if you're busy working on something, it will automatically send that message out. They've added some things called Quick Note, which is, if you've used Notes, which I really like, as it's a way to quickly add things, and you could even save your passwords in there because it's password protected. It's very secure. It's on your device, but you can do a quick note. Just type it off and it'll save it in your notes. Makes things if you're like to add things that pop into your mind. It's really good. You can even type in someone's name, email address, and it will send it over to them. So it's pretty nice. Another thing that they've come up with is universal control. So if you have an iPad or an iPhone, you put it next to your Mac, and now you can your cursor on your Mac can go over to your phone. It will you set it next to it, give it a second to connect, and you can push your cursor over onto your iPad, and then it becomes a cursor on your iPad, and then you can move around, type things into search bar, or if you've drawn something on your iPad, if you have an Apple Pencil, for instance, you can drag it back over and drop it into a document you're working in your Mac. So it's basically extends the screen So you can see this, something like this here. It'll go for your Mac. You just push it right over and it connects. There's no setup required. There's no apps that you have to download. You can do it for up to 3 devices. They have another thing called Airplay. So Airplay works with Apple TV and some other devices, but now it allows you to without the Apple TV, to share it with another device. Live text. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, but basically, if you take a photo or you have something on that comes up on your screen, you can highlight words. It will actually go into the photo and find phone numbers or addresses, or you can, or something that you took a picture of on vacation. For instance, this one is the Golden Gate Bridge. You can, it will recognize it and bring up more information about that. So that's a very, very neat and very useful thing. I used it on our vacation recently. For some of the pictures, you can just take a picture of a real estate sign or a restaurant and find out more information about it. There's some shortcuts apps. They've added some things to your shortcuts app. Allows you to run different shortcuts so that a little bit more organized. You can share shortcuts with a friend. Use them to, for instance, if you download something from the internet, you can have a shortcut that tells it which folder you want it to go into. They've made more changes to maps. One of the things that is really nice, and I used it on our recent vacation, is the 3D views of cities. So you get something, this is San Francisco, but you'll see a more 3D view of your landmarks and everything. The interactive globe is really nice. And if you're, this will be for your iPhone, but now you get a lot of transit. So if you're in New York, for instance, and you want to ride the subway, it'll give you information about that. It's going to tell you which devices are trying to access your microphone or your camera. You're going to get iCloud Plus. So if you are paying, other than the 5 gigabytes you get free, if you pay for any type of iCloud storage, it's basically $1 for 100 gigabytes. Now you'll get what's called iCloud Plus, which will help replace a lot of the storage plans. And that's where you get the things like the private relay, hide my email. So it helps you be more secure in your browsing. And there's a lot of other things that are going to come out, and we're going to talk a little bit more about them. But that's just a quick overview. Another good thing I want to mention really briefly, you can now add a second person to your iCloud account to help you recover. So if you ever forget your password, the other person can help you sign in to your account. For instance, I made my spouse my account contact, and she'll get an email and can help me unlock my should I ever forget my iCloud password. And, you know, as they say, death and taxes, you can also designate someone to be a legacy contact in the event of your death to handle all your online accounts. So that's just a quick overview. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of these things later on, but it just gives you kind of an idea of what's going on with the system.